Hi everybody. One of the jobs that I do every day, pretty much without fail, is get rid of the compost. Now this is the bucket of compost here, and that's about how much compost we generate on a daily basis. Now what I used to do with this is I would put it in compost bins, I would layer it, I would put grass cuttings on there, a bit of soil, some leaf mulch, and I would water it every now and again, and every so often I would come along and with a fork and I would turn it into another bin, and in a few months we'd have some beautiful soil from it. But I realised at a certain point that I was basically wasting my time. I really felt like it wasn't something that I needed to be doing, because we really focus on fruit trees, and I don't think that I need to have that really nice soil. I think it would be very different if I was focusing on growing annual crops. Then it would come in really handy to keep creating new beautiful fertile soil. So I realised the easiest way for me to do this is not to use compost bins and look after it all the time. That's a lot of work, more work than is necessary. I'm very simple with what I do. I like things to be easy. I like things to be as minimal effort as possible. So what I started doing instead is I take it out to the garden and I make a little hole under the mulch, and I put the compost bin or the compost under the mulch, and then I cover it. And that way I don't ever touch it again. The worms from underneath will come up and find it. I'll water it, just that's part of watering anyway. I have to do that, like this citrus tree here, a little baby citrus tree, got its first fruit on. I will put it here, and that will feed the tree. The root will come along and get it, the worms will eat it, it will break down, and all the lovely compost. I've got a big layer of mulch on top too, so I don't have to worry about it smelling or anything. And I've got that all over. Basically I put one of these buckets every day underneath one of the fruit trees and cover it with mulch. That's something I do every single day. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put this in here, just a little gap I've made under the mulch, and then I'll push the mulch back again. So I'll just take the bucket and empty it and push the mulch underneath. Very, very simple, minimal effort, and I'll push the mulch, pull it back over, and that's it. As simple as that. Step it down. The worms are going to love that. Yeah. Now what may happen is that we get some critter come along at night time, some animal, maybe a bandicoot, or it could be the brush turkeys, will come along and they'll scratch around, they'll find it and they'll dig up bits and pieces. So I try to step on it as much as possible. It discourages them because they can't get there. Well, they will if they're persistent, but with so much mulch on top it's more difficult for them. And besides, they don't really do much harm doing that. If somebody comes along, one of the animals, and digs up a little bit and eats it, it's not a huge thing for me, because they're going to poo somewhere that's offering nutrients to the soil too. And it's just easy for me. So the only thing that you'll see is in the morning maybe there'll be a little bit of orange peel or whatever that's dragged out here, or something that's spread out. But really, so what? The worms are still going to get what they want, and the soil is still going to get richer, and the plant's still going to be able to feed from that soil. So I'm very happy with this solution. I've been doing this now for the past, I don't know, over 5 years. I stopped doing the compost bins at least 5 years ago, and I found it much easier. It saves me a lot of time. I can use the time to do something else now, be creative with something else. Just so, anyway, that's one little thing that I do every day. So welcome to our life. So thank you for that. So this is the next day after I buried the compost, and as you can see, somebody did manage to get down underneath the mulch and has spread out the compost a little. But hey, no big deal. I just scrape it back in again. And they won't come back again. That's the only time they'll do it, the first time when it's fresh. And they don't manage to get much. It's all good. It's all good. That'll do. I'm not too concerned about it really. It's just it will break down no matter if it's underneath or on the top. Okay, that's the compost for you.